Daily 8 English Podcast.
From Daily 8 English.
Hey, fellow English learners. It's good to see you all. Welcome back to Daily 8 English, where 8 minutes a day builds the fluency of a lifetime. I'm Tom.
And I'm Olivia. Let's get started.
Olivia, can I ask you something a little personal?
Oh, this should be interesting. Go ahead.
Have you ever been stuck in a conversation where everything just dies? Like, someone says something, you respond, and then total silence. Just the two of you staring at each other.
Oh, absolutely. And the worst part is when both people are desperately thinking of something to say, but nothing comes out. It's almost painful.
Right? And what do most people do? They just say, yeah, and look at their phone. Conversation over.
Which is such a shame, because keeping a conversation going is actually a learnable skill. It's not something you either have or you don't.
Exactly. And that's what today's episode is all about. We're going to give you real, practical tools to keep any conversation flowing, naturally, confidently, without that dreaded silence.
And these aren't just tricks. Once you understand the logic behind them, you'll use them automatically.
All right, let's get into it. Technique number 1, and this one is a game changer, is what I call the echo and expand method.
I love this one. So the idea is simple. When someone says something, instead of just replying with a yes or no, you echo a key word from what they said, and then expand with a follow-up question.
So, for example, someone says, I just got back from a work trip. Instead of saying, oh, cool, which kills the conversation, you say, a work trip. Where did you go?
See how that works? You picked up on work trip, echoed it back, and immediately opened a door for them to keep talking.
And the beautiful thing is, people love talking about themselves. You're not struggling to think of new topics. You're just using what they already gave you.
And you can keep going. They say, I went to Dubai. You say, Dubai, first time there? And the conversation keeps rolling.
It's almost like you're a tennis player just returning the ball. You don't have to serve something brand new every time.
Exactly. Echo and expand. Simple, natural, effective.
Technique number 2. This one saves you in those moments when you genuinely have nothing to say. It's called the opinion flip.
Ooh, tell me more.
So instead of panicking when the conversation stalls, you flip it back to them with an opinion question, something like, what do you think about that? Or, does that ever happen to you?
This works because people don't expect you to have an interesting story ready every second. But everyone has an opinion, and asking for it makes the other person feel valued.
Right. And here's the key. Make it specific, not generic. Don't just say, what do you think? Say, do you think that's something that happens a lot in your industry? Or, has that ever changed how you handle things at work?
Specific questions show you are actually listening, and that alone makes you instantly more interesting to talk to.
Because the best conversationalists aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who make you feel heard.
That's genuinely one of the most important insights about communication in any language.
Technique number 3, and this one is especially powerful for English learners, is using bridging phrases to buy yourself time and keep things moving.
Yes, these are little phrases that signal you're engaged and thinking without creating an awkward gap.
Things like, that's a really good point, actually. Or, I hadn't thought about it that way, but... Or, you know what? That reminds me of something.
They do two things at once. They show you're listening, and they give you a second to gather your thoughts before continuing.
And the key is to say them naturally, not robotically. That's a really good point should sound genuine, not like you're reading from a script.
Which is why we practice, right? The more you use them, the more automatic they become.
And once they're automatic, you stop panicking when there's a pause. You just reach for a bridging phrase and the conversation keeps going.
It's like having a toolkit in your pocket. You don't need every tool every time, but knowing they're there gives you confidence.
Technique number 4, our last one for today, is what I call the topic ladder. This one helps when you've completely exhausted a subject and need to move somewhere new without it feeling awkward.
So the idea is, you find a connection between the current topic and a new one. You climb from one to the next, like rungs on a ladder.
For example, you've been talking about travel. You say, "Speaking of different places, have you noticed how the food culture is completely different wherever you go?" Boom. Now you're talking about food.
Or from food. That actually reminds me, I've been trying to cook more at home lately. Do you cook? And now you're talking about lifestyle habits.
You're basically connecting the dots between subjects in a way that feels organic, not forced.
And the phrase, speaking of, is your best friend here. Speaking of, followed by something loosely related to what was just said, it's smooth, it's natural, it's what fluent speakers do constantly.
So, to recap, echo and expand, the opinion flip, bridging phrases, and the topic ladder. 4 tools, 1 goal. Keep the conversation alive.
And the beautiful thing is, these work in any situation. Job interviews, networking events, first dates, casual Friday lunches with colleagues.
Now let's build your vocabulary with today's word tour. I'll start. First word, stall. S-T-A-L-L.
To stall means to stop making progress or to delay. In conversation, the discussion stalled when nobody had anything new to add.
Second word, reciprocate. R-E-C-I-P-R-O-C-A-T-E. To reciprocate means to respond to something with a similar action or feeling. Good conversations reciprocate. Both people give and take equally.
Third word, seamless. S-E-A-M-L-E-S-S. Seamless means smooth and without obvious joins or breaks. Her transition between topics was so seamless, nobody noticed the shift.
Fourth word, rapport. R-A-P-P-O-R-T. Rapport means a close and harmonious relationship where communication flows easily. Building rapport early in a conversation makes everything easier.
Fifth word, deflect. D-E-F-L-E-C-T. To deflect means to redirect something away from yourself, often used when you want to turn a question back to the other person. When he didn't know the answer, he skillfully deflected by asking for her opinion instead.
Sixth word, elaborate. E-L-A-B-O-R-A-T-E. To elaborate means to add more detail or explanation. She asked him to elaborate on his point, and that's when the real conversation started.
6 great words for your conversation toolkit. Stall, reciprocate, seamless, rapport, deflect, elaborate.
Now here's your listener challenge for today. In your next conversation, any conversation, use at least one bridging phrase. Something like, "That's a really good point, actually." Or, "You know what? That reminds me of..." Just one. See how it feels.
You'll be surprised how natural it sounds and how much smoother the conversation becomes.
So here's your reflection question. When was the last time you walked away from a conversation feeling like it went really well? And what made it different? Just sit with that for a moment.
Because that honest reflection, that's where real growth lives.
If today's episode helped you, hit subscribe. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm Tom.
I'm Olivia. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.